The skies of Eloria burned violet. The once peaceful planet of the Varelians, graceful beings of light, empathy, and unparalleled artistry, was now scarred with fire. The Droker Dominion, a brutal warrior species who conquered not out of necessity but for sheer dominion, had laid siege to Eloria for over 6 months. The Varelians, though spiritually strong, lacked the weapons to repel such ferocity. Their crystalline cities crumbled under plasma bombardment, and their songs of peace were drowned by the screams of the dying. On the 180th day of the siege, with fewer than 1 million of their kind left alive across the globe, the Varelian High Council activated an ancient beacon, a galactic SOS, sent into the void, seeking aid from anyone who might still possess the strength, the compassion, or the madness to intervene. Their message: to any who still listen, we are dying. Please help us. Even the smallest flame may hold back the dark. They received only silence. Then, 3 days later, something unexpected happened. From the distant arms of an obscure spiral galaxy, 20 human ships emerged from hyperspace. They were not graceful. They were not made of shimmering alloys. They were angular, brutal machines of old engineering, painted black, gunmetal gray, and scarred with age. The Droker laughed. 1,000 of their cruisers and dreadnoughts, equipped with plasma lances, hull-melting arc beams, and void field projectors, surrounded the primitive convoy. "Is this a jest?" one Droker commander snarled. "These apes send cargo freighters into our war zone." What the Droker didn't know, however, was that these freighters were Terran Defense Command vessels, equipped with kinetic railguns, magnetic torpedo systems, and reactive ablative armor. And inside them were humans, battle-hardened veterans forged in centuries of war, civil unrest, and extinction-level catastrophes. The lead Terran ship broadcasted a single message: "You've spilled innocent blood. We're here to end your war." The Droker opened fire first, overconfident and eager. Plasma beams surged toward the human fleet, and then stopped, intercepted. Human ships didn't rely on energy shields. They relied on physics, armor, and outmaneuvering. Plasma bolts splashed harmlessly against tungsten carbide hulls. Then the Terrans answered back. From thousands of kilometers away, hypervelocity kinetic slugs, each the size of a bus, tore through Droker ships like paper. The Droker had never faced weapons that didn't use energy. Their entire combat doctrine had no defense for pure, blunt force trauma delivered at Mach 25. One by one, Droker ships vanished. Just catastrophic explosions as their hulls collapsed under sudden force. Command ships lost communications. Escorts turned into debris. EMP shells shorted their plasma control circuits. Thermobaric cluster warheads eliminated entire squadrons in a flash. Within hours, 700 Droker ships were gone. By the end of the second day, the remaining fleet broke formation, retreating in disarray. But the humans didn't lose a single ship. Some sustained damage. None stopped fighting. On the third day, aboard the Terran flagship TSV Resolution, the Droker High Commander bent the knee and surrendered. Not to the Varelians. To humanity. The Galactic Council went silent. Species that had observed the conflict dispatched their envoys to learn more about these Terrans. What they found chilled them to the core. Humans hailed from a death world, a planet of crushing gravity, corrosive oceans, unstable tectonics, and violently shifting climates. Hurricanes the size of cities, volcanic eruptions that blanketed skies for months, ice ages, extinction cycles, and through it all humanity survived. They thrive. They built civilizations on fault lines, cities on floodplains, empires in deserts and tundras. They warred with one another for millennia. Sometimes for resources, sometimes for ideas, sometimes for nothing at all. Nuclear fires, biological plagues, orbital bombardments. These were not apocalyptic to humanity. They were obstacles. And worst of all, humans saw war not as horror, but as a challenge. Test. A game of strategy. Profession. The Droker, who once called themselves the apex predators of the galaxy, were now seen as archaic, brutish and outdated. Humanity treated war as a minor inconvenience. That day, a new phrase was quietly agreed upon in council halls and senates across 100 star systems. Never provoke Earth. The Varelians rebuilt their world with human help. Their luminous cities were restored with Terran steel and compassion. Children born after the war learned 2 new songs, one of peace and one of Terran sacrifice. Humanity, once unknown in the galactic community, became a name whispered with awe and caution. They didn't demand territory. They didn't enslave. They didn't colonize. They simply said, "If you are hunted, we will come. If you are threatened, we will stand between you and the dark." And in every system, from the frozen moons of Talshar to the bioforests of Zelaton, a signal was etched into the stars. Earth stands ready.